So most people think that their gut is just fine because they're not bloated all the time. But your gut might have other plans. And just like your car gives you warning lights before it totally breaks down, your gut gives you data before symptoms show up. The question is, are you looking at it? Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. Hey my friends, welcome back to Gut Fix. So today I want to talk about something that I am super excited about. It's a brand new cutting edge gut test that is changing the way that we understand digestive health. And this one's not a messy stool test. Hallelujah, right? It's a quick, simple test that gives you a peek into what's really happening in your microbiome. And that's the amazing community of all the bacteria, the yeast, and the microbes that influence everything from your digestion to your mood to your immune system. So this new type of gut test looks at several different key markers that together are going to paint a very complete picture of your gut health. So it's like your gut report card, if you will. And here is what it specifically looks at, which differs from the traditional GI map stool test, which is something that I have used in the past. And so it's looking for diversity. So what I mean by that is how many different types of bacteria are in your gut. So think of this like biodiversity in nature. So more diversity equals more resilience in your gut. And then it looks at the beneficial versus the harmful bacteria. So it's going to show whether the quote unquote good guys are thriving or whether the bad guys are starting to take over the playground, right? And then it takes a look at the inflammation markers. So the very subtle signs of irritation or the imbalance that can happen long before you ever feel any symptoms or any pain. And then it's going to look at the barrier function. So you've heard me talk about about leaky gut and your gut lining, and it's going to look to see if it's strong and intact, or does it have those tiny leaks that are letting things slip on into the bloodstream that shouldn't be there. And then it's going to look at, lastly, the metabolic activity. And so what it's measuring there is how efficiently your gut bacteria are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Breaking down the fiber, making the short chain fatty acids, producing vitamins, and supporting your metabolism. So you're going to get all of this information in the comfort of your own home with a simple blood spot test. Honestly, it couldn't be any simpler. And why this is so important is that, most people, they wait until something isn't right. They wait till they have symptoms, lots of symptoms, before they finally take a look under the hood. But by the time you have those symptoms, like your bloating, your fatigue, irregularity, whether it's diarrhea or constipation, your microbiome may have already shifted in ways that are now starting to affect your hormones, your immunity, even your mental clarity. So, when you think about it, your gut doesn't just digest food. Like I've talked about in other past episodes, it produces neurotransmitters, a lot of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. And it also trains your immune system and it's constantly connected and communicating with your brain through that gut-brain axis. So if your gut is inflamed, then your body and your mind, they're going to feel it, right? I mean, it makes sense. They're all connected. So getting this data helps us to catch all those shifts so much earlier before you start chasing those symptoms. And so, traditional stool tests, they're very, very helpful. They look at a lot of different things. There's a lot of data on a stool test. And let's just say they're not everybody's favorite morning activity, myself included, having done so many of them in the past. It's not really something that I ever looked forward to. But this new method uses that very simple, non-invasive sample, that blood spot sample, no stool involved, and can measure microbial activity with impressive accuracy. So it's like upgrading from an old map to a real-time GPS, right, for your gut. And it doesn't just show what bacteria exists, but it reveals what that bacteria is doing. And so that means you get a clearer, faster picture of how your gut is functioning and how your lifestyle, any supplementation, or how they're actually impacting your microbiome over time. And so when you do this test, and I'm getting ready to take mine, and I will definitely be revealing my results. But the report gives you insights like, is your gut balanced, or is it starting to show very early signs of imbalance? Something that you can get a hold of, take care of, and correct before it gets out of control. It will also give you an insight as to, are your beneficial bacteria, are they thriving, or are they struggling to do what they're supposed to be doing? It'll also tell you if there is any low-grade inflammation that might be silently driving your fatigue or even your brain fog. And it'll also tell you, are you breaking down those nutrients effectively, or are you missing any key microbial pathways? So the goal is never to overwhelm you with data, because let's face it, most people don't really care about it. They want to know, okay, what's going on? What can I do to make it better, right? It's about giving you the clarity that you want. You'll know where you need to focus, whether it's, boosting up the diversity in your gut with maybe more plant fibers, calming down that inflammation with some omega support, or strengthening the gut lining with targeted nutrition. So it'll give you all of that data, enough data, plenty of data to tell you what's going on and then how you can correct it. So we have just entered a new era where gut testing doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be messy, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It's all about that personalization, because, let's face it, your gut microbiome is as unique as your fingerprint. And so when you see your results, it's kind of like reading your own gut's story. Whether it's been what it's been through, whether it's thriving, or whether it needs just a little bit extra love and support. So if you've ever wondered, how healthy is my gut really? Well, now you can find out. And it is easy and it is accurate. And that's why I'm so excited about it, because of the main things that we struggle with when thinking about doing a test like the GI map. It's going to be messy. I got to, get a stool sample. There's too much information there. It's expensive. All the things that we don't love about it have been sort of corrected with this new testing. So if you're curious about how you can get your own gut report card and see what's really happening underneath your hood, I'm going to drop a link in the show notes below that you can learn more and explore your options. Because I think once you see the data, then, you're going to be able to feel relief that you are finally stop guessing at what's going on, what's causing it. And you can start that healing process with confidence. So, I hope this was helpful. I hope you're as excited as I am. And in the meantime, until next week, stay happy and stay healthy. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.